I'd like to ask you about antidepressants for a long time and their benefits, if any. And I know that you are
What
laughing.
a beautiful question. What a beautiful question.
Yes.
You couldn't have asked a better question. This is $1 million question.
Thank you.
Let me tell you something. When the mind is not in the brain, how can you treat depression with chemicals? Do you know what happens when you treat depression with chemicals? You become demented. And that's called Alzheimer's disease. One professor of neurology, psychiatry, in New York, this girl wrote a book. Her name is Grace Elizabeth Jackson. What's her name? Write down. Grace Elizabeth Jackson. And the book says, Dementia, a drug-induced crime on mankind. Dementia, a drug-induced crime on mankind. Okay? And this book is selling like hotcakes and she has made millions. But she has been dismissed as a professor of psychiatry in the New York University because of writing that book. Please read Grace Elizabeth Jackson's book and it will tell you it's a very nice book. It goes into the chemistry of it. I mean, when the mind is not there, the best treatment for depression is social support, behavioral therapy, group therapy. Patients come out of it. You know what happens when you take drugs for depression on a long-term basis? The patient commits suicide. One of the side effects of antidepressant drugs is it stimulates the brain to commit suicide. Now most of the crimes, even homicides, are due to taking antidepressant drugs. I won't go further into it. One example is Germanwings plane was taken down by the co-pilot because he was on a heavy dose of antidepressants. I mean, go on and on and on, but that's a beautiful question. As a matter of fact, there is no scientific basis for treating mental illnesses with chemical drugs. For mental illnesses, only psychotherapy. For a mind which is not at ease, another mind at ease must set it in ease. Not a chemical molecule. Yes, sir.
Doctor, most of the people now suffer from the diabetic.
No, that's not a wrong. That's a wrong statement. Incidence of diabetes genuinely has not gone up, but we are creating diabetes. So, for example, in his area, you give that chemical for depression. What's that called? Thallium. Huh? Produces diabetes. Our friend takes statin. 40% of statin taking patients become diabetics in 1 year. So are we not manufacturing a lot of diabetes? I mean, of course, we are producing obesity, which is one of the important causes of diabetes. Obesity is very rampant in the West. Even in this country, I see almost every other person is obese.
If at all the person already got diabetic, what is the solution? Without medicine, whether they can cure? That is
Very good question, very good question. As a matter of fact, if you can control your diabetes without medicine, you will live 10 years longer than a non-diabetic. Did you know that? There's a study, beautiful study, Indian study, which shows that if you control your diabetes without drugs, diabetes can be easily controlled without drugs. Diet and exercise, diet and exercise. 1 hour walking, 350 calories gone. 350 calories is 7 idlis. 1 idli is 50 calories, 7 idlis is 350 calories. So you walk one day, one hour, so 350 calories gone. It's like, bank balance. You put more money, put less money inside and spend more money, there's less balance. Are you an economist? You're a doctor? Chartered accountant. Oh, see, that's why I said that. How did I know you're a chartered accountant? You put less money in the bank, spend more money. So balance is less, isn't it? See, chartered accountant, bright chartered accountant. See, how did I know? Good man. Walk, walk, walk.
Thank you, doctor. Thank you.
And relax, relax, relax. More tension, you want this, you want that. Chartered accountant, then, especially if you're a chartered accountant accounting the Ravana account, then your blood pressure, blood sugar will go up.
Hello, sir. Here.
Yes, young lady. Huh?
What about hyperlipidemia? What is the treatment you would suggest?
Amma, there isn't anything called hyperlipidemia. The more lipid in the body, the better for you. You live longer. We created a myth called fat is bad for the heart. There isn't any basis for that. Now Americans are saying we are sorry for doing that. Now you want USDA has put a 553-page document saying that Americans should eat more fat. They should at least have 2 eggs a day. And they should have more eggs and more green butter and more ghee and things like that. Who is this hyperlipidemia, the disease? It's a commercial disease. Why should you believe fat is bad? If you know, if you go back, it all started with the first study called Ansel case study. This man was given $100 million to study relation between fat and heart because already companies had drugs to lower fat. So this man created a study. He studied 22 countries and found there is no relationship at all. He can't write a no relationship having taken so much money. So he made a paper by eliminating country by country by country without telling any people how many countries he studied. He studied 22 countries, presented 6 countries and had some sort of a relationship. But there was this professor called John Yudkin in London in the 50s who had found out fat is very good for health and what was bad was sugar. So he wrote a book for you. You read that. You're an engineer, no? It's called Pure, White and Deadly. Have you seen that book? Pure, White and Deadly, John Yudkin. Now they demonized that man. They dismissed him, a professor of nutrition at London University. They removed his degree and they put him out of the GMC. And the poor fellow had to teach music to survive. And he has died. Now they say, oh yes, sugar lobby did this. And now it is found out, for your information's sake as an engineer, the sugar lobby paid 3 Harvard scientists $50 million to create the fat myth. But luckily, all those 3 are dead now, so they can't be prosecuted. You understand now? Now why do you believe that? So don't believe anything. Go into it. Don't you believe anything. Don't believe what I say. Find out for yourself. Don't believe what I say about bypass surgery. Go and find out yourself. Then you know what's happening.
Hello, sir.
Professor, what we can learn from the nature, like animals, do they have similar diseases?
Beautiful, beautiful.
And we have more diseases because we investigate more on us.
What a beautiful thing. What a beautiful thing. Do you know what this is called? Disease mongering. We go after diseases and create diseases in human beings because we don't have what is called normal. We have average. These actuaries have taught us, the chartered accountants have taught us. There was an actuary like, what's your name, sir? Vishweshwar. There was a big Vishweshwar in London in the 18th century. His name was Benjamin Grumpets. What is his name? Benjamin Grumpets. This man had written the actuarial data of human death and disease in the 18th century. And everybody forgot about it. That is lost. Now they have discovered in the debris of his old house, in the 18th century house, the document. And they took it out and put it on the present actuarial statement. It fits in so beautifully. Nothing has changed. But we have created more diseases by what is called disease mongering. Supposing I am selling idlis in India. I want to say idli is very good for everybody, no? So if I am a doctor, I want more disease, no? You will be surprised in London, doctors were very happy when the smallpox epidemic used to come in the 18th century. That's the time they make more money. And 1823, the doctors in London were so bad, for your information's sake, that a doctor among them called William Bakeley, what's his name? Wakeley, W-A-K-E-L-E-Y. Wakeley thought the London doctors of 18th century, I am quoting his words, were a bunch of corrupt, impotent, nepotistic fools who become an abscess on the human body like a pus. So he said, I am going to teach them science and then I will see that they become better. And he started a journal which he called as the Lancet, knife, so that I will remove the pus. When did Lancet start? 1823. Who started? James Wakeley. Now how many years? 16, 185 years. The present editor of Lancet last year, Richard Horton, said, what has been the effect of Lancet on the doctors? You want to know? Don't want to know? If you don't want to know, don't know. And he commissioned Hilary Butler, a journalist from New Zealand, to do the study. She studied and wrote, I quote, what was once a bunch of corrupt, impotistic, nepotistic fools has transformed itself into a corporate monstrosity which is cutting people left, right, and center all over the world.